And we know that because there's a point and a slope. We also talked about this yesterday. It's y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Do you remember that from yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Great. Now, this question asks us to first determine the slope. The slope, nicely, is the number that's in front of the parentheses. What is the number that's in front of the parentheses?
7 2s.
This operator goes with it, though.
Oh, negative 7 2s.
Negative 7 over 2. Perfect. Okay. Now the point is a little bit more difficult. Okay. It's an x and a y. The x value, do you see how this operator is the same, minus and minus?
Yeah, yeah.
So the x1 is literally that value. It's 4. But over here, do you see how the plus and the minus are opposite in sign?
Yeah.
So it's not 13, it's the opposite of 13.
Which is negative 15.
Yes. Now let me give you a little bit more simplistic one for you to look at. And I definitely want you to get this example down in your notes. So let's say it's y minus 3 equals negative 2x minus 4. And I'm going to write the point slope form below it here. Okay. So I want you to tell me the slope. What is the number in front of the parentheses?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So the slope is negative 2, or you can write m equals negative 2. This one is much nicer because see how the signs, the operators are the same?
Yeah.
So the point is just read off. Now you got to be careful. And y comes first, but in our ordered pair, x comes first. So what is x1?
X1 is 4.
And y1 is?
X. No,
y1 is numerical. It's 3. Good. Okay. Do you see? And do you see where it's coming from? It's coming from this over here on the left, and then this over here on the right.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. So I want to give you a problem to try on your own here. Is there any questions you have before we do that? I'm not going to make it any more difficult than this, but I need you to verbalize if there's an issue.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. Do you have the point slope formula down in your notes?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So y minus 2 equals negative 3x minus 4. So there's two things I'm looking for. I'm looking for the slope and the point.
Okay. The slope is -3.
Good.
The point is 2 and 4. 2 comma 4.
Okay. So what you gave me is y comma x. What is the order that the ordered pair goes in?
Oh,
It goes x comma y.
Yeah.
So why does it? So why does it do that? That's an important question. I think you can just, we don't have to actually answer that, but the order matters. Like x comes before y. This one on the right comes before the one on the left. So what is the ordered? I'm sorry. What is the ordered pair of the point here?
So it'd be 2 and comma 4.
So you just gave me y comma x again.
Oh, so it's 4 comma 2.
4 comma 2. Good. Okay. Let's try another one here. Okay, so small variation in this problem. What is the slope? What does this operator mean in front of here? What's the number that isn't written?
Negative.
But if there's a number, like a negative is an adjective, it describes something. What is the number that goes here that is not written?
1.
-1. Okay, and again, we don't need to get into why, but you have to know that if the negative is there, it really means -1. Okay. So the slope here is, what is the slope of this?
-1.
-1. Give me the point. Make sure you give it to me as an ordered pair, x comma y, x comma y. It's the number on the right followed by the number on the left.
3 comma 1.
Good. All right, let's do another one here. Okay, what is the number that is written in front of the parentheses
1.
but isn't written. There's a 1. So if I don't write anything, there's still a number there. What is the slope?
1.
Good. What is the point?
4, 5.
4, 5. Good. Now I'm going to write the formula again. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay. And when these match, you just write the number. But if they don't match, what do?
You add them.
You don't add them. Let's go back and look, because you already did a problem like this. Okay. Let's go back and look at this one here. When these are opposite in sign, the number is opposite in sign. Do you see that? It was y plus 13. When these are opposite, plus and minus, you change the sign of the number.
Okay. Oh, okay. I understand.
Okay. Whereas when they're the same side, same sign, you just write the number. So let's try another example here. I'll work this one with you. Okay. Y plus 2 equals -5 x plus 3. What is the slope?
-5.
-5. Good. Now this time, do you see how this is opposite in sign?
Yes.
So it's -3, not 3. Do you see how these are opposite in sign?
Yes. So it's -2.
-2. You have to be able to do this on your own. You have to be able to say, Matthew, the slope is -5. The point is -3, -2. It all comes down to, do you know the formula? If you know the formula and you remember that if it's opposite in sign, you change the sign of these numbers, you've got it.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give you one to work on here. I'm just looking to see what else you were given in this assignment to be able to best help you. Okay, let's try it. I'll just make one up here. So I'm going to clear the screen. So if you have questions, this is where you got to say, hey, Matthew, you're going too fast. Give me another example, or no, I've got it. You got to verbalize what you want here. But I'm going to give you a problem here. And if you need me to go slower or something's unclear, you let me know. Okay, so I want two things. I want the slope and the point.
Okay. The slope is 4 and the point is -3, -2.
Good. All right. Now let's look at a problem that you got earlier today in your practice set here. Actually, they didn't give you this, but let me snip it in. This is part of the answer. Okay, so here, this is part of the answer, but I want you to give me the slope and the point as well from this one, please.
Okay. The slope is 60 and the point is +2, +210.
Perfect. And it said really well, really well. All right. Okay, so it looks like that you've got some graphing problems that came up next. Maybe, I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's a little odd because I'm seeing the answers and then what you selected and all that. So let's go back to something we looked at yesterday, and let's look at this equation, which is in slope-intercept form. So we're kind of transitioning here. This equation right here is in what is called slope-intercept form. This is the one most students like. It's y equals mx plus b. The slope is the number in front of x. Okay, what is the slope of this equation? What is the number in front of x?
4.
It's not 4.
From x.
It's like this. If you got hit by a car, you wouldn't say I got hit by a car. You'd say I got hit by a red car. Sorry, I know it's a horrible analogy, but you have to describe the number. The negative sign describes the number.
+4.
But it's not positive. This right here. What does this mean?
-4.
It's -4. Okay. All right. Now the b value, I like to just call it the other number. What's the other number? And it takes on the operator. The operator is part of it. What's the other number?
3 positive. -3.
-3. Yes. Okay. And if you need to, I would circle it. That's a good way to do this. All right, so we're gonna get to graphing these, but I want you got to get really good at this. So I got to give you a problem like this. And you need to very quickly tell me the slope and the b value. The slope is the number in front of x. What is the number in front of x in this case?
+2.
+2. And what's your b value? It's the other number.
-5.
-5. Okay. Now, what if I write this? Y equals x plus 1. Actually, make that a 2. What is the slope? What is the number in front of x that isn't written?
1.
1. So the slope is 1. What is the b value?
2.
2. Okay. And then let me come off to the side here. What if it's y equals -x minus 4? What is the slope?
1.
What's in front of x though?
Oh, -1.
-1. And what's the b value?
-4.
Good. All right, so let me give you 2 problems here to do on your own. And I'm looking for the slope and the b value. So y equals -4x minus 5, y equals x minus 2. I want the slope and the b value for each one, please.
Okay. The first one, y equals, the slope is -4. And the b value is -5.
Yes. The next one?
The value is 1. And the
The slope is 1 and the b
Yes.
value is
-2.
-2. Okay, now that's great. Now we're gonna look at an exception here, kind of an exception. Y equals x. This is an equation. This is truly in slope-intercept form. The slope is 1 because there's really a 1 there. The b value is 0 because you're really adding 0.
Okay.
And if you don't like it or you don't feel good about that, try to think about it in terms of like money. If you have a certain amount of money and you add 0 to it, you've not changed it. Math and money kind of go hand in hand, so to speak. Okay, now let's talk about how to graph. So let's talk about how to graph when it's in slope-intercept form. So let's say I wanted you to graph y equals 2x plus 1. Tell me the slope, tell me the b value.
The slope is 2. And the b value is +1.
Good. Now we're going to change the slope to a fraction. It's 2 divided by 1. So remember we talked about that yesterday. It's like number of things you have to share with number of friends. So if you have 1 friend and 2 things, they get both of those things. Okay, but because you can always write a number over 1 is the point though. You can always write it over +1. Now, when you're graphing, you start with the b value. Okay, so you actually start here at 0, 0. That's the origin. You can think of that as home. And this tells you how much up or down to go. So you're going up 1. It's up 1 because it's positive. Is that okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Now the slope is rise over run. The rise is actually not quite the right word because you can either go up or down. Since 2 is positive, you're going up. So from this new point, you're going up 2, 1, 2, and then you're running. You always run to the right. There's no exceptions to that. It's always to the right. You're going right 1. So there's your new point.
Okay.
And then you do the same thing. You go up 2, rising 2, right 1. And depending on the course, you know, I don't know how many dots they want, but we can call that. So notice to be able to graph this, you have to do the stuff that we talked about. You have to be able to write the slope and the b value. Then you have to use them. Okay, so we're we're gonna do that here. But you know, if you need some time to get caught up, please let me know. I'll be sending the PDF of the notes at the end, and there's always a link to the screen recording to watch at a later time.
Okay.
All right, new question. So I want you to graph y equals minus x plus 3. What is the slope? What is the b value?
The slope is -1, the b value is +3.
Right, now the slope we're going to write as a fraction, so you always write it over 1. Now, do you start with the b value or the slope when you're graphing?
The b value.
The b value, and this tells you how much up or down to go. So we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. There's my starting point. The slope is rise over run. Since it's negative, that means you're going down. So rise isn't really the right word, but they always use rise over run. But you're going down 1. You always run that 1 on the bottom. You always run to the right. So there's your second point. And then you repeat. You go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, and so on. You're probably not going to be doing much graphing by hand because you're doing this online course. So I'll talk about some other options, but you've got to be able to do this. You've got to be able to make a rough sketch. Okay, so let's try another one here. Let's go y equals minus 2x plus 4. What is the slope and what is the b value?
The slope is -2, the b value is +4.
And the slope is really -2 over 1. So here's what I want you to do, Jeremiah. I want you to graph 3 points for me on your paper. They don't have to be, you don't have to tick these out. I'm just looking for, like, generally it'd be great if you had graph paper, but maybe get some for next time. But I want you to try graphing this on your own, please. And then I'm going to graph it and you can see how you did compared to that. Any questions on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Great. So you're going to start at 4, which means you're going to go up to 4. So somewhere you have a starting point here. This -2 means you're going to go down 2 and then right 1. It's always to the right, down 2 and right 1. Does your graph look something like this?
Yes, it does.
Very good. Okay. All right. Now let's switch to, actually, let me give you a slightly more difficult problem here. Y equals 1/2 x minus 3. What is the slope and what is the b value on this one?
The slope is 1/2.
It is 1/2. Okay, and the b value is -3. Now notice that it's already a fraction. When it's already a fraction, you don't need to put it over 1. You just leave it as a fraction. So that means you're going to go 1 up and 2 right. And if you need to, you can write that out. That's no big deal. That is an important thing to do. Now you start at the b value, -3. So you're going to go up 1 and right 2, up 1 and right 2, up 1 and right 2.
Okay.
Up 1 and right 2, up 1 and right 2. You're making a triangle each time. Now, just sort of something to think about here. If I draw a single point, how many lines go through a single point?
Single point 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna draw a line. And if we were side by side, I would come in and draw another line. So I can get at least 2. Is there another line that goes through this point?
The straight one.
Maybe that one, maybe this one straight up and down. There's actually an infinite number of lines that go through a point. Okay, and it would be reasonable for you to say, well, why are we doing this? Well, if I give you 2 points and I draw a line, I haven't drawn that great, but if I give you 2 points, can more than one line go through 2 points?
No.
No. So when you're graphing, you actually only need 2 points. Now you can do a third and a fourth. You can do a third like you did up here, but you actually only need 2 points when you're graphing. That is sufficient. All right, so let's actually look at just a little bit more here. We're going to do some graphing. The lesson's only going to be 30 minutes, but since we started a little bit late, let's just go a little bit longer today. I've got the time. So let's do some graphing in point slope form. Actually, let me change. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to write this in point slope form below it. What is the slope of this equation up here?
Okay, the slope is -1.
-1. And we're going to write that -1 over 1. We need the point this time, not the b value. So I want you to be very careful. If the signs are opposite, which they are here, what is the x value?
-2.
-2. And then how about here? The signs are the same.
+2.
+2. So when you're graphing in point slope form, it's actually very similar to what we just did. You don't get a b value, but you do get a point. So we're going to start at that point. We're going to start at -2, -2, -2, -2. So that's that point. From this point, we do use the slope. Are we going up or down from that point?
Down.
Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. I didn't need all those, but I did them anyway. So what's really neat is there's some overlap. Like it's not like you're learning a new thing. You just need to get the slope and the point. You start with the point and then you use the slope. All right, so let's do another one here. Let's go y -4 equals 1/2 x -2. What's the slope and what's the point?
+1. The point would be.
Wait, what's the slope?
1/2.
1/2. Yes, it's everything that's in front here. Okay, and give me the point.
The point is +2 and comma +4.
Good. So we're going to go graph that point. We're going to go to 2, 4. So there's 2, 4. Can you explain to me what we do from here?
Okay, we go up 1 and 2 to the right.
Perfect. Do I need another point or is this enough?
Another points.
So this is enough. 2 points are enough, but you may want to draw a couple more.
Okay.
Especially if you're doing it by hand.
Can I?
All right, so let me just go back to the other screen real quick with your class. So Jeremiah, if on Thursday, if you want us to work through some of these together, we can. What I really need from you is what you want to work on, and this is enough. We can just go through these. But if you want us to do these together, we can. It's going to be the same format though. I'm going to give you similar problems. I'm not just going to work with you on exactly this, but you'll do enough where you can get all of them worked out. But please try to have that figured out for me ahead of time.
Okay.
Thought you did great today. I'll send you I'll email your dad the link to the notes and the link to the screen recording, but that's it for today.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. See you Thursday. Have a good night. Bye now.